Hi everybody, my name is Jorge Peruzzi and I'm a developer advocate at Miro. In this video, I'm going to show you how to deploy a Next.js application to Netlify. Let me show you what that looks like. So here is my deployed app. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. All we have is a simple sign-in button, which will take me to the OAuth flow. And then it should just say I'm successfully logged in. So very simple. I'll show you how to use environmental variables with Netlify as well. So let me click on sign in. Now I'm taken to the OAuth page. What's really important here is that we can see we'll be taken to /API/redirect, and that's where we will be able to complete our installation. And I'll show you more of the code behind this in a second. Once I click allow, it should say I've logged in successfully. Great. So now let me show you how to actually deploy this. So first things first, basically we're in our Netlify account. We're going to go to site overview, and then we're going to go to all sites, and then add a new site, and then import from an existing project. We're gonna have to actually authorize with our GitHub account, so we'll click deploy to GitHub. We'll just click continue. And at this point, it's gonna ask me to pick one of our GitHub repos. And before this, you're probably gonna have to let Netlify either have access to all your repos or select some. So I've selected a couple of mine, and here it is. And this is the repo that I'm going to deploy, and it's just called deploy Next.js Azure, because in the previous video I deployed it to Azure. So it's a pretty simple app. All it has is a couple of routes, and let me show you those routes. So in pages, API, and then redirect, I have a couple of routes. And what the most important part of the app is, I have this environmental variable called ClientID, and then the client secret, and then the redirect URL. So I'll show you how to set those in Netlify. So let's go ahead and deploy our project. So we're going to click that. So we've clicked on our deploy Next.js Azure app. We're going to leave the main branch there. Netlify also automatically detects that it's a Next.js site, which is great. And Azure, you have to do this yourself, so you have to pick the runtime yourself. And then we'll just leave the base directory and then deploy the site. So that's pretty easy. Now, let's go to developers.miro.com and create an app. So we're going to need to tell our Miro app about our deployed Netlify app as well. So let's go into create apps using examples, go down here, and then we're going to look for Next.js OAuth. We'll click on register with example settings, and then I'm going to say Netlify, create the app. And then now we're going to actually edit in our manifest. And here, all I have to do is add in that deployed URL. So if we go back into our Netlify account, we can see that the site deploys in progress, and we can go ahead and see this is going to be our URL. So let's see, so it deploys in progress. So while this is deploying, I'm going to go ahead and add in environmental variables. So we'll go to deploy settings, environmental variables, and then we'll import from a .env file. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go back into here, and I have my sample.env file. So here I'm going to take the client ID, client secret, and redirect URL, and I'm going to put that in here. And we're going to go ahead and grab these settings from our app. So here it is. Here's our client ID, then the client secret. And then at this point, we can see that we already have our actual URL for the site. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that in here. Great, looks good. I'm going to import the variables, and then I'm going to trigger a new deploy. So if I go back to my deploys, I'm going to trigger a new deploy, and that should actually make sure that these environmental variables are set on the deploy. So that looks good. The last thing we need to do is just go ahead and grab this deployed URL and put that into my Miro app. So if I go into my deploys, let's go ahead and grab this. And then we'll add that in our manifest. So here we're going to add that here, and then also in our redirect URL. And we just need to keep this API/redirect, and we'll hit save. And now we should be all set. So essentially what we did is we told our Miro app settings that we have this deployed app in Netlify. And in Netlify, we made sure that the environmental variables are pointing to this client ID and this client secret from this Miro app. And then also made sure that these redirect URLs match. So that's pretty much it. So now let's go ahead and check out our site. Let's click on sign in. And now we're going to be taken to the OAuth page. We'll click Horia's dev team, and then again, we should be taken to /API/redirect, and this Stellar Concha site looks good. If I click add, we see that we're logged in successfully. So that's pretty much it. You saw how to deploy an app onto Netlify, and you saw how to add in environmental variables, and also how to make sure that the Miro app settings are matching what the redirect URL is for your Netlify app. Hope you learned a lot, and please let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you want to see next. Thanks so much. See you next time.